football players like dessert. Get ready for the most amazing white chocolate mocha brownie cake. Okay, so we are going to make the most delicious game day brownie explosion of deliciousness you've ever seen in your entire life, okay? So first we're going to start off with kind of a basic brownie recipe. And you're going to take some flour, 1 cup of flour, 2/3 cup cocoa, 2 tablespoons instant coffee, a half a teaspoon salt, and a half a teaspoon baking powder, and sift it into a little bowl, okay? And then set aside. Let it just hang out. Next thing we're going to need is we're going to need a full 1.5 cups of sugar and a half a cup of brown sugar. And we're going to throw that into our stand mixer right now. Now we also need a cup of butter, which is usually 2 sticks of butter is a cup. And make sure it's room temperature or else you're going to get really gross little tiny pellet things happening. We want it to be really super, super smooth. Okay, and as you can see, it's all creamy and smooth and yummy and delicious. Now the next thing you need to do is get out your vanilla. And we need a teaspoon of vanilla. And also, because these are going to be espresso brownies, some little coffee espresso, we're going to add whatever your favorite coffee liqueur happens to be. And we're going to add that. And of course, after you're done, if you don't feel like that's enough espresso powder in there, you can always add more. Now we're going to have 4 eggs. And add them one at a time. It makes it a lot smoother and easier to do. And make sure too you want to scrape your sides down so you don't get gunk up on the sides. Scrape it down. Alright, now the next thing we need to add extra chocolate amazingness is we're going to actually melt half a cup of chocolate chips over here in our double boiler. So all this is I've got some hot water that's been kind of boiling away on the stove. And you want to let it get hot and then turn that temperature off. And then I've got my chocolate chips in a little bowl here. And make sure there's no moisture in this bowl or else you're going to get curdled chocolate. It's actually called seizing, and the chocolate's going to bunch up and look really disgusting and not be smooth, and it's not good. So you can take the whole thing off the heat, because at this point our water is hot enough. Make sure you've got a nice surface. And then your chocolate is going to melt away eventually. And voila! Look at that! Mixing it up. And now we got this beautiful smooth chocolate. How lovely. Alright, now you got to be careful when you're adding this in, because if you do it really fast, you're going to make scrambled eggs. And we don't want scrambled eggs brownie. That would be really gross. So we're going to start moving our brownie batter up here. And we're going to slowly add in a little bit of that chocolate at a time. There we go. Scrape down our sides one more time. And now we're going to add the dry ingredients. Now again, you want to add it a little bit at a time, because if you try to add it really fast, you're going to have flour all up in your face. And I've had that happen many times before, so I know how bad that is. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down, and we're going to add a little bit of our flour mixture. Save the chocolate, save the chocolate. Alright, scrape down one more time. So what we're going to do next, and I won't bore you with showing you how to do this, but what I did is I took some butter spray, and I took some flour, and I sprayed the butter spray, and then I took the flour and kind of sifted it all around and made like a light layer, and this really, really helps it be non-stick. And these are long sheet pans. And the reason why we have long sheet pans is because we're going to do something really special with our brownies. We're going to make kind of a stacked brownie cake thing that's going to be amazing. So we want the long sheet pans so we have kind of thinner brownies so they're stackable. Okay? So once you got that, you got your brownie mix, you plop that over there. Your oven should be at 350 degrees, and then you're going to shove that in the oven. and it should bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. Keep checking it. Use a little toothpick. Check the center, see if it's done. Okay? And I will see you for part 2 of Amazing Brownie. Okay, we are ready for part 2 of our fantastic brownie cake. Okay, so the second part is we're going to have a white chocolate brownie. What I did here with our dry ingredients is this is 2 cups of flour with a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt sifted together. Right, so that's going to chill out there and hang out there. This is going to be a little blondie brownie, which does not have regular chocolate in it, but we are going to put lots of white chocolate deliciousness in it, which actually isn't chocolate, but I really don't care because it's so really good. So we need a stick of butter, which is a 1/2 cup of butter thrown in there. We're going to do what we did last time. It's very similar to the first brownie we made, except for we're using some different chocolate. Okay? Alright, now we need a teaspoon of vanilla, similar to what we did before. Now, actually, you could do this with 2 teaspoons of vanilla, just fine, but I found this really cool thing that I won't put the brand name on because I'll probably get in trouble, but it's a toasted caramel whiskey. Oh my god, so we're going to put this in here because this is awesome. Give it a little extra kick. Just a little hint of something. Now, if you don't have that, you can use butterscotch schnapps too. That would be really good. Or get creative, you know, vanilla vodka. Maybe just some plain old whiskey. Get the little whiskey or some rum. I just like adding alcohol to everything because it's just fun. Alright, so we got that going. So now we got to have our eggs. Again, we got 4 eggs. So our next step is we got some white chocolate hanging out over here. This is kind of a lot. This is almost a whole bag, a 12-ounce bag, but actually it's 10 ounces of white chocolate. So almost a whole bag of chocolate. So kind of guesstimate it. So we got to take this over here to our little double boiler action, and we're going to get that all smooth and going. So as you can see, we've got our white chocolate all perfect and smooth. If you have any problems with it getting smooth, some little tricks are to add a little bit of butter or also add vegetable shortening. Vegetable shortening works really well to get it smooth. So we got to pour it in nice and slow like we did the chocolate because we don't want those eggs to get all crazy. And if there are some clumps in here with the white chocolate, it's no big deal because it is going to melt again when you bake it. Looking good. Okay, so now we got to add our flour like we did before. Same deal. Make sure you add it slow so it doesn't go all over the kitchen. I did have to clean up the first brownie mess. That was fun. Now again, we got another sheet pan. It's the same exact size as that first sheet pan we had, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to spread it out, make sure it's nice and even, and then this is going to bake for 30 to 35 minutes, depending upon your oven. So just keep checking it. When you get to like the 20-minute mark, just keep checking it. Use a toothpick, check it out, and then I will see you back for the next part of our brownie.